you can't retroactively give a player credit for something that they weren't able to do.
It was over the railing, so technically it's free play for all spectators.
Welcome to Hindsight Heroes, back for another week. Me and Michael, I'm Tim Wolf, that's Michael Hofling. We're excited to be back again. Wow, we made it, this is a month now.
Yeah, been a good month, Tim. I like working on this with you.
I like working with you too, Michael, and that's a good thing because we spend a lot of time working on this, and if I didn't like working with you, I think I would hate my life. So, well, we're excited to be back here for another week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Hindsight Heroes Show. Same username on Facebook at Hindsight Heroes Show. And you can find us on YouTube, Hindsight Heroes. Hit us with a subscribe. Let's bring those numbers up. We're trying to get that custom URL. And, you don't get it unless you're famous. So make us famous so we can tell you to go to youtube.com/HindsightHeroes. So that's all of our shameless plugs for the top of the show, I think. Michael, did I miss anything?
You did miss our question of the day. We got to talk about that.
Yes.
One thing, the NBA season started, and the biggest story seems to be the Houston Rockets and New Orleans Pelicans. So our question of the day is, should the Rockets be nervous about their performance in Game 1 of the season? Very poor showing against New Orleans. Is it time to panic already, or should we give it a little bit of time to see how things are going? So we'll give you our answers at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that, but comment below. Let us know what you think.
Right on. Make sure you tell us what you think, people. We want you to have a voice too. And if anytime we get a really good response to any of these, we will put it on the show. We would like to get the people watching a lot more involved. That's what makes these types of things much more fun for us and more fun for you watching. So we're excited about where we're going here, and I gotta say off the top, we're excited about the show, but Raiders fans not excited about their start to the season so far. What is it, 1-5?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too excited either, especially because, John Gruden not looking too good in his first season.
No, he's not. And the fans, one of them actually started a website called isgrudengonyet.com. And if you look, it's got it's got a bunch of tickers. Gruden's made this much money since you arrived, this much money overall. It's pretty funny, and I gotta say, they have a point.
In fact, since the start of this show, John Gruden has made over $90. So there's that. Anyway.
That's some next level analytics. All right. Well, we actually this is not the first episode of its kind. You can also find Has Julio Jones Scored a Touchdown Yet.com.
Yeah, that one's going to take a very long time, it seems like. He's not getting anything.
He has a hard time scoring touchdowns, and it really confuses me because he's probably the most athletic receiver in the league.
Probably, but I don't know about I don't know about his tech skills. Anyway, I found one that Tim might not like very much, but it's IsBradyRetiredYet.com. Ooh. That one probably doesn't feel too good, Tim.
I don't like that. But, I did find one that you might not like. I don't even know who started this. Maybe it was your girlfriend. Has Michael worked out yet?
All right, Tim. Let's just get on the old keyboard. How about this one? Does Tim have a girlfriend yet.com?
Ouch. Ouch. My girlfriend is Hindsight Heroes.
All right, that's spoken like a true show host. Moving on, the NFL season is almost to its midway point. We've seen a lot of good stories, and the biggest one, of course, being Patrick Mahomes. He went up against the New England Patriots, so it was the young star versus the old vet, the GOAT, and things didn't play out so well for the rookie in his first start against Tom Brady.
Woo! Yeah!
Good day. lost today, kid. But it doesn't mean you have to like it.
So, that definitely was one of the most time-consuming things I've ever done. But I think it looked good. I got Robert Kraft in there. A lot of people in there.
Plenty of creativity there. I'm proud of you, Michael. You put in some good work.
Thank you. Well, so the Patriots and Chiefs, that was a great game. But the last game of last week, Monday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers at Green Bay Packers, that was arguably a better game, seeing Aaron Rodgers go against this team that without their starting quarterback. So it should have been a blowout. But, I mean, it was pretty close. But was it really? Take a look at how this game played out.
Did I lose? You're still conscious? You are strong. The prophecy held true. The battle was hard fought. Yeah, it sure was. You lie. You had strength to spare. I never stood a chance. It wasn't even a battle.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that Michael and I have different media tastes. The first one is Indiana Jones, and then the second one is some type of anime that I've never seen before.
You've never seen One Punch Man, dude? Great series.
No, I'm not. So the NBA is back, and after just a couple days, they've already supplied us with plenty of meme material. This one's been going around the internet along. You can see Boban Marjanovic, the center for the Clippers. Here he's post-dunk, and his feet are still on the floor as his hand is on the rim.
Yeah, very tall guy. They tend to do well in basketball, right?
I would not know.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever... how tall are you, Tim?
I am like a tall 5'7".
All right, a tall 5'7". Oh, well, dude, you could have said anything. Why'd you actually say your height? You could have been like, I'm 6'3", but...
No, we are all about journalistic integrity here on Hindsight Heroes, as you can see, obviously, as we said that Patrick Mahomes was Indiana Jones. So, we decided we'd have a little bit of a caption contest with this one. Michael, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, so it's when your little brother says he's got a new toy, and there ain't no way you're going to let him play with that one first.
That's a pretty good one.
You have a little brother, right?
I do. I have two little brothers.
You've reached over the top of him and dangled the toy in front of him, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Well,
except how tall is your brother?
My brother, now my brother's like 5'11" or 6 feet tall, so I can't do that anymore. My caption, I gotta say, when someone says the Yankees would beat the Red Sox and you picked the Red Sox.
I thought we moved past this, Tim.
Never.
Well,
Look at the genius board, bro. Look at the genius board.
All right. Well, until I catch up, yes. All right, whatever. We're past that now. Anyway, so we had a caption contest. We want to know what you guys think. Give us your best caption. Comment below. If we find any good ones, of course, we'll post it on the show as well. You will see them here next week or on the Instagram page. Follow that. You can see it.
We will post them on the Instagram page if we find any good ones. At Hindsight Heroes Show, hit us with a follow so you can see it.
So another week, another topic that we got to talk about, and of course, the biggest topic on everybody's mind right now is that big non-catch fan interference, sort of a home run. Not really. It was called an out, double play. I don't know what went on. All right, I sort of do, but was it an out? Should it have been an out? ALCS Game 4 in Houston. Jose Altuve hits one over the fence. Mookie Betts going up, trying to catch it. Interfered by a fan. Joe West calls Altuve out. Question: should it have been an out? Tim?
Well, I gotta say, we talked about this last night. You can't retroactively give a player credit for something that they weren't able to do. Even if they had no power over it. It's not like the player made a mistake that kept them from doing it. It was an outside circumstance. He couldn't catch the ball because the fan's hand was in the way. We could talk later about whether it would have been a catch at all. But it's the same thing as if, let's say Khalil Mack strips Aaron Rodgers and starts running the ball back for a touchdown. He's far and away going to score, and the ref blows it dead because he thinks it was an incomplete pass. Well, we look at the review, it was actually a fumble, and the ref says, oh, well, since it was actually a fumble, well, Khalil Mack gets 6 points because he was about to run it back for a touchdown. That's basically what happened last night with Mookie Betts and that catch. You cannot give him credit for catching the ball when he didn't catch the ball. I don't think it should have been an out at all, to be honest. I think it should have been a double. That's the far and away down the middle choice. Literally, down the middle.
Yep. I agree with you for the most part there. Joe West called it an out. That's what the big controversy was, because if it was called a home run or a double or whatever, then because the reason it was called an out is because the review couldn't show any evidence of it not being an out, since that was the original call. So, of course, Joe West saying that the fan reached over. The actual MLB rule, it's Rule 3.16, states in every case of spectator interference with a batted or thrown ball, the ball shall be declared dead and the base runners can be placed where the umpire determines they would have been without the interference. When a spectator clearly prevents a fielder from catching a fly ball by reaching onto the field of play, the batter shall be ruled out. But no interference is called if a spectator comes in contact with a batted or thrown ball without reaching onto the field of play, even if a fielder might have caught the ball had the spectator not been there. So, basically what that says is, as long as that fan in orange reached over and touched the ball while it was still in play, Altuve should be ruled out. However, there is no evidence of him actually being in the field of play. It was over the railing, so technically it's free play for all spectators. So Tim and I both think it shouldn't have been an out. However, because Joe West called it an out, I think that there's a reason for it. I think that there's a reason they stuck with that ruling. But the question is, even if it was ruled out, even if there was no fan interference, would he have still caught it? And Tim and I disagree on that. Tim?
I gotta say, and to preface my argument, Michael is going to whip out like 80 stats on this, just so you know. I guarantee it. I haven't seen them. He's like, did you look at the stats in the rundown? I was like, it's like this long. No, I didn't look at your stats. You're going after me. So we'll see what happens when Michael talks. But just so you know, I'm just gonna go off of what I saw. What I saw was Mookie Betts right there, ready to catch the ball. The Golden Glove winner, Mookie Betts, one of the best athletes in the entire MLB, Mookie Betts. You're telling me he wasn't going to catch that ball if those fans weren't there? The glove was there. The ball was right there. He had the reach. I have to say he would have caught it.
Well, Tim, you know, there's no test better than the eye test in Major League Baseball. That's what old scouts love to say, but let me drop some numbers on you. So, I'm not sure how catch probability works on everything, but I know that a catch at the wall or near the wall the catch probability is significantly lower than normal fly balls. This, of course, according to MLB StatCast, which is the site that determines catch probability. It's highly doubtful that this play had anything higher than a 25% catch probability, which would make it a 5-star catch. 0 to 25% catch probability determines a 5-star catch. In 2018, on just 5-star catches, Mookie Betts went 2 for 22, catching less than 10% of all possible 5-star catches. 22nd best rate among qualifying Major League outfielders. So that's good, but it's nothing great like Lorenzo Cain or Harrison Bader or Ender Inciarte. So how likely is it actually that he was going to make that catch? You can't assume that one of the greatest catches ever in the history of baseball was going to be made. Basically, just because the glove is there doesn't mean that they're going to make a spectacular catch. Now, the Red Sox, of course, lead in the ALCS 3-1 after a couple of great catches and non-catches. Mookie Betts, of course, throwing out Kemp at second later in the game, and Andrew Benintendi making that diving catch to end the game. So they're looking
do you know the catch probability on that one, by the way?
I do not. I never said I knew the catch probability on the fan interference home run either. So, but we can talk about the Benintendi catch another day. But, so they're up 3-1. Do you think your Red Sox take it tonight, Tim?
Well, I mean, I tweeted about this earlier this afternoon. They've got a lot of guys who have pitched I think they have 4 of their relievers have pitched in the last 2 games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Price is up tonight. He struggles in the playoffs. Porcello already pitched. Eovaldi already pitched. Sale's not available. So they are running slim on that depth in the bullpen right now. So it's going to be all on David Price to get those 5, 6, 7 innings so that he doesn't have to have a lot of support. And if he does, I think the Astros might be able to take advantage of that.
Very good. I'm sort of the same way. They're just very stretched thin right now. It was the first 6-out save of Craig Kimbrell's career. So he's not going to be very good. He's not going to be very fresh, to say the least. They used a bunch of relievers in last night's game, so not looking too good for the Red Sox in this one, but of course I think they take it in 6 when their relievers get rested up.
Moving on to a little bit of NFL action, Jay Glazer of Fox Sports reported that the Raiders may be looking to move Amari Cooper. He is on the trade block, reportedly. And Ian Rappaport followed that up by saying that they are seeking a first-round pick in exchange for Cooper, a first-round pick himself, actually. So they're looking to get what they paid for him in return. And if anybody who's ever bought a car or pretty much anything else knows, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it goes down 20%, man. And I think that's what's going on with Amari Cooper right now. I'd be surprised if they got exactly a first-round pick for him.
I would be surprised too. They're hoping to get the same value they got out of him from the 2015 and 2016 seasons where he was one of the best in the league. Just hasn't been the same ever since, though. Not really somebody who is worth a first-round pick, in my opinion. I think that a second-round pick at the latest or a late first-round pick might be something, but an early first-rounder, definitely not.
Yeah, and so we compiled a list of teams that might be interested in getting Amari Cooper from the Raiders. And top of the list, I think, is the New Orleans Saints. They're thin at the wide receiver position. Moving down the list, the Titans, the Cowboys, Panthers, and Jets. Over at the Titans, come on, that receiver core is just absolutely abysmal. And that might be generous calling it abysmal. So the Cowboys after that, Jerry Jones likes shiny things. Amari Cooper, former first-round pick.
Pretty shiny toy.
He's a pretty shiny toy. So, and they also keep talking about how the Cowboys need a wide receiver. I don't know how much the Cowboys buy into that. I think they know it's more their system.
I think the Cowboys need a secondary. They need a secondary and a quarterback.
Yes, and then you have the Panthers who have Funchess, Torrey Smith, Jarius Wright, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel. A very deep group, but nobody who's exactly a standout athlete like Amari Cooper. So, and then the Jets finish out that list, as I said. I think they're taking a more patient approach currently with the fact that they just drafted Sam Darnold. Maybe they want to surround him with a little bit more important pieces before they go after a wide receiver. But they could be a dark horse in this as well because they don't have the deepest wide receiver core.
Yeah, well, the Jets, as you said, are trying to build toward the future, trying to protect their franchise quarterback. I think they keep their first-round picks, go offensive line. But going back to the Saints, so I actually looked at Amari Cooper's stats from the last 2 seasons, or the last 1.5, 2017 to 2018, and I compared it with the 5 teams. It would be Dallas's number 1, New Orleans number 2, because let's face it, Amari Cooper is good, but he's not going to be ahead of Michael Thomas on that depth chart. Titans number 1, Carolina's number 1, and the New York Jets number 1. And actually, the Saints seem to be the best fit because targets per game, receptions per game, yards per game, and touchdowns per game, all of those over the past season and a half, Amari Cooper has been better than Ted Ginn. That is the only team of the 5 listed where he's better in 3 of the 4 categories. There's not a single other team where he's better in even 2. So actually, putting Amari Cooper at the wide receiver 2 would do better for the Saints than it would to have the Cowboys, Titans, Panthers, or Jets sign him and have him as the 1, it seems, right now.
I don't want to get too caught up in Amari Cooper's recent statistics, though. We know the Raiders have had a ton of struggles offensively. Derek Carr, injured, not injured. Different offensive coordinators, a new head coach now with John Gruden, obviously still 1-5, not looking so hot. So I think he's been quite a little bit of a victim of the Raiders' struggles, but at the same time, you're right, he has not been what he was in prior years. But
well, if you want to go back to his entire career, in his entire career, actually, he's better in almost every category than the number 1 receiver on all those teams except the Saints, the number 2 receiver. In that category, from 2015 to 2018, when he started his career, he's actually better in targets, receptions, and yards per game, worse in touchdowns per game, which has sort of been his kryptonite, getting in the red zone but not scoring. But it just shows to go how dominant he was in his first 2 seasons, and that might be enough potential for one of those 5 teams to say, hey, maybe he is worth a first rounder.
And that's why I like the Saints a lot, because you talked about his potential. Who else better to bring out his potential than Drew Brees, and lining him up alongside Michael Thomas so he doesn't necessarily have that pressure or the need to be the number 1 guy. He can develop a little bit more, try to get back his confidence, get rid of that case of the drops he's had for the last couple of years, and round into that number 1 receiver type of material that we know that he is.
So, at the beginning of the show, we asked you a question. Pelicans routing the Rockets. Is it time to panic in Houston? Or are the Pelicans just a team we're overlooking, especially now that they don't have DeMarcus Cousins? So, Tim, give me your take on that.
I'm going to say yes. I think the Rockets should be concerned after that performance. If I'm a Houston fan, I'm certainly concerned because they let Trevor Ariza walk out the door. They brought in Carmelo Anthony. Chris Paul's a year older. They signed him to a long-term deal. There's a lot of things going on here that are different than last year, and I think it might surprise us on how different the Rockets might look if we break down the statistics from these first couple of days of the NBA season. They have no more Ariza, who actually played very well for Phoenix in his first game for them. He was 7 for 12, 5 of 9 on 3 points for 21 points, with 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. Let's look at who the Rockets now have on the floor in place of Ariza. Carmelo Anthony, 9 points on 3 of 10 shooting, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 2 turnovers. I think the loss of Ariza is going to be a very underrated thing for the Rockets this year. He contributed so much as a 3-and-D type of player. When it comes to the Rockets missing him, Melo's not going to fill that hole, and I honestly think he needs to come off the bench. So we'll see what happens going forward. But Chris Paul also, like I said, a year older, injured in the last few postseasons. He wasn't in those crucial games against Golden State last year. And that's not an indictment against Chris Paul because he can't do anything about that. But as an organization, you have to look at a player and say he's getting older and he's got an injury history. We might have a problem here. So if I'm a Houston fan, I would definitely be concerned. I wouldn't hit the panic button just yet, though.
I gotta disagree with you there. I think the New Orleans Pelicans are not only a good team, but I think the Rockets might have been, relaxing a little bit because you heard what Kevin Durant said after their game with the Restless Thunder. He said, we're not worried about this right now. We're just focusing on the postseason. Because you know what happens when teams focus on the regular season? They go 73-9 and then lose to the Cavaliers in the finals. So that's what happens. So the Rockets know they're a good team. They just got to relax, just play their game, focus on not getting hurt, focus on doing what they have to get into the playoffs with good home court advantage, but not focus too hard on just getting wins to prove themselves. They are a measuring stick for other teams. Not to mention the Pelicans, as I said, they got better. Even with that out DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins still missed 34 games last season. That's a lot. I think the additions of Julius Randle and Elfrid Payton are huge. Payton got a triple-double in this last game. So as long as AD continues to develop, and he has been, Julius Randle continually one of the most underrated players on the Lakers. He's going to contribute a lot. And then Elfrid Payton, of course, he's going to be amazing, even if his hair looks like a couple of bunny ears flopping over his forehead. So I think that the Pelicans are still a somewhat good team. I have them making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to hold up to the standard that maybe this first game is going to hold them to, but I think they're a very good team. Definitely worth putting on your schedule and making plans for when you see them coming up.
If you think we missed something, or you want to argue with one of our points, let us know what you think in the comments. We want to get everybody engaged, get everybody talking. It's a conversation here on Hindsight Heroes. We're all Hindsight Heroes here on social media, are we not?
Tim knows how to market, I guess.
I do. I got that. I've got that broadcast journalism degree. That's called fan engagement right there, Michael. You should learn a couple things. Well, that's all the Hindsight Heroes we got for you guys this week. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hindsight Heroes Show. I'm Tim Wolf. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TimWolfTV. And Hindsight Heroes, find us on YouTube. Hit us with a subscribe. and it's Hindsight Heroes. Just search us on YouTube. You'll find us. I'd give you a custom URL, but you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to do that.
We don't have that yet. We don't have that yet.
That's why we need you to subscribe.
There we go. Marketing 101. Tim's the mastermind. I'm John Michael Hofling. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Hofling. Also check out my website, fromtheboothsports.com, for articles on all the latest sports news every week. This has been Hindsight Heroes. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.